Item ID 601, designation given to a biological computation device that appears capable of high-speed calculation and advanced logic function. Its purpose is unknown, as is its origin beyond a location. Item 601 was recovered from a server farm in Portland, Oregon, following an incident that resulted in the disappearance of 2 maintenance workers. These 2 workers were sent to verify and fix several outage reports that are assumed to be the result of corrosive properties. The location of the workers remains unknown. Following containment of the item by Group G4 raiders, the item was brought to Site 16, where it was placed under the supervision of Dr. Answorth and researcher Escher. You see, the existence and containment of 601 is not important. Its origins, while mysterious in its abilities, eldritch in form, 601 is actually incredibly simple to understand and equally easy to dismiss. Instead, why the story of this item was written down in the first place was to document the effect the futile effort would have on the on-site staff. Dr. Answorth and researcher Eicher were the experiment, despite their knowledge, and were given an impossible task: understand beyond a shadow of a doubt the purpose, origin, and abilities of Item 601, 3 objectives that cannot and do not exist. Let's take a second. If you aren't familiar with the Foundation, I'm sure what I just said doesn't make any sense. How would it be impossible to determine such simple things? Well, the world of the Foundation is different than ours. There's a plethora of different interpretations about where these items come from and what purpose they serve, and that's part of the allure. There is no single canon. Within that world, Eicher was now struggling to find how anything definitive about this machine was possible. Presented with and on the matter, his reports became increasingly apathetic and dismissive. Writing, there is simply nothing to learn from this machined creature. It is useless to humanity. There's nothing more I can do with the Foundation's resources to uncover what purposes it serves. Allow me to create a containment procedure and move on with my work. This attitude, perhaps, is what damned him in the end. The story continues. Eicher finds himself before a higher council and is told that he must continue his work on the item indefinitely. Item 601 was never about the item itself, instead acting as a mechanism to tell a story about the function and ridiculous of this Foundation and the impossibility of its goals. What goes on to happen to Eicher isn't written down. It's one of the many things that are left up to interpretation by this item's report, and it can be assumed that Eicher returned to the quiet and useless work that was demanded of him. From my perspective, though, I doubt that this is the last appearance he will make, perhaps finding him in later articles as a member of a group opposed to the Foundation's interests, fighting to ensure that other researchers and doctors like him are not treated like the anomalies, as experiments, and as grunts. As readers and writers of the Foundation, there's a layer to Item 601 that was made explicitly for us, the hope being that we could sympathize with Eicher and see to some degree a parallel between the futility of his work and our own. But after reading it a few times, I think there needs to be a better meaning to the story. As of now, it comes off angry and nihilistic. His portrayal of the Foundation is meant to mirror and then blame real powers that keep you down and apathetic. Perhaps when you think like that, you're looking for ghosts and shadows instead of actually doing anything about it. And if you were to look for ghosts and shadows instead of just working, you will stay down instead of making something you're happy with.